I know. And you can, Yusuf, if you prepare a lesson for everybody, then I'll be really happy to let you teach everybody, inshallah. Okay, we've got somebody, Muhammad, wa alaykum as-salam. Ana bi khair, alhamdulillah. Kayf al-hal? Let me know you can hear me, by the way. Give me a thumbs up, like the video, please, if you can hear me okay. And we've got a guest with us as well today. We've got my son, Yusuf. Yusuf, no. Stay there for me, Yusuf. Just stay there for me, buddy. You're allowed to come onto the camera, inshallah, when you learn a lesson. If you prepare a lesson for everybody, I'll let you teach everybody something.
Yeah, I learned a lesson.
Teach everybody a hadith or something from the Quran or something, then you can have your own video sometime. But for today, it's just Daddy answering people's questions, inshallah. Okay, let me share the link with everybody. Because I just want to make sure that everybody in the WhatsApp group for the Arabic in 60 Steps program all knows that this is live. So I'll just share it with everybody. Okay, here we go. Okay, who else is here? Assalamu alaikum. I can see 2 of you, but only Muhammad has said hello. So who else is here? Show yourselves. Make yourselves known for me, please, inshallah. Yusuf, you okay?
Yeah, I just want to say hello.
Okay.
Can I say hello to them?
No, not to them, buddy. You stay and you do your phonics or something, or eat a banana for me,
I'm
please.
just going to spin around.
Or just spin around on one of the chairs. Assalamu alaikum. Oh, 6 people. وَنَحْنُ سِتَّةً. And then we are 4. Oh, only 4, so not even sitta anymore. And we are arba'a. We are 4 now.
That's fun spinning on chairs. Whee!
Okay. Wa alaikum assalam, Ahmed. How are you today? How long you learned Arabic? So I suppose I started learning Arabic in 2011. Yeah, so 11 years now. Yeah, so I started my Arabic language degree in 2011. I was pretty much a complete beginner. Like I hadn't had any like formal Arabic lessons or anything before that. I'd memorized some Quran. I could read the script fairly well, but I couldn't write it.
I saw your tip for the fat boys.
Did you? So my TikTok, did you?
Yeah. He says, quick round voice tip for the fat boys. Breathe in and then tighten up and then roll.
Yeah, that's right. We don't need that one now, though. This is a different audience. So, yeah, I saw a question. عندي أسئلة كثيرة لك. Okay, send me an email, inshallah, if you have أسئلة كثيرة. Yeah, if you have many أسئلة, many questions, then you can send me an email, sam@arabicin60steps.com. Or if you can make them shorter and we can deal with them one at a time, then you can send them here. Yeah, I don't mind that. However you want to do, inshallah.
Okay.
Yusuf, don't come into the camera, please, buddy.
I
Yeah,
can
we'll save that for another day. Which Arabic dialect do you prefer and why? Well, I don't have a whole lot of interest in Arameya generally. Like I teach Arabic for the purposes of mainly the Muslims reconnecting with the Quran and Islamic texts. So I don't really have a preference for any, you know, I don't, for myself anyway. When students ask me what I would recommend for them, I usually say Egyptian or a Shami dialect, just because of how neutral they are and how well understood among Arabs generally they are. Yeah, of the Amiyya which I'm most likely to lean into myself is Palestiniya, just because I lived in Nablus for a year. But it's not like these days. If I'm just to use Arabic, I don't really use I try to use as much modern standard as possible. Cool. Okay, we've got 7 of you here. Please like the video, you guys. It's free to do so, and it's a huge help to me. So, do you think you're more skilled in English or Arabic? Which language do you think in? I mean, definitely English, just because I'm a native speaker, and you never really change that, you know. Like I only spoke English until I was like 18, so that is my language, and that's who I am. You know, in terms of what language do I think in, I've recently on the Sam Martin Bird channel, I've done a video about the idea of thinking in languages, and I don't really believe I think in either. You know, sometimes I have ideas and I think that would be easier to express in Arabic, or sometimes I even think of something in English and I realise that I realized that the wording is closer to an Arabic wording than an English one. But generally speaking, people communicate in, we think not in language, but in concepts, and then we manifest them through whatever languages we have available. So, yeah. Okay, there's a few questions coming. Medina or Bayna Yadayk? So I suppose it depends what your goals are and who you are. It's important with these programs to know like what these books are written for. Like the Medina books, you should understand that they're written to be taught in Arabic by a native Arabic speaker to adults who are in a classroom. Like you notice the early steps utilize things in a classroom. هذا قلم, هذا مسجد, like things that would be easy to teach in a classroom in the Arab world. And programs are written under whatever constraints the teacher has. Like the Medina books are written under the constraint of all of the students not having the same language. That has a massive benefit, right? That you can explain things in a common language. But the situation for the students at the University of Medina is they don't have that. They might have 2 students from Nigeria, 3 from Russia, 2 from London, 3 from Canada, 1 from Brazil. So like the Medina books are under those constraints. The Bayna Yadayk books are obviously full of dialogues and stuff, and I like a more rounded approach to teaching language like that, like a more applied one. So I like a Bayna Yadayk for that, but I don't know, I don't discourage people from anything. Like I've inherited many students who have started the Medina books and then come onto my program because they've had their own issues with the Medina program, and those students are really good and really strong in the stuff that the Medina books have taught them. So I don't know, I don't speak badly of any of those programs really. Okay, and there was another part of that question. How do you go about learning using video, learning it alone using videos? So videos, you need to be interactive with them, right? Like when you're consuming stuff from videos, Yusuf, be careful with it, please, buddy. When you're interacting with videos, you need to be thinking, like if there's a dialogue in a video or something, you need to think, well, how would I respond to that? And maybe pause it when one of the people has spoken and fill in your own dialogue and think about how you would have responded to it. We just don't really learn in a very complete way when we're doing it only passively. So you need to think about how you would interact with whatever conversation it is in Arabic. So you need to do more of that. What else have we got? Okay, what else have we got? Just wondering if you had any other books as easy, like the Little Red Riding Hood. Well, the Little Red Riding Hood series, I think is really easy. I don't think the Alauddin series is that. It is a slightly higher level, I suppose. But what it might require you to do is just go to the website where that book's from. Like if you go to the Alauddin series or you go to the Red Riding Hood series and you see the link to the PDF file, that website's full of books, and it might just require you to download a load of them. Yusuf, please. It might require you just to download a load of them and just see which ones you resonate well with, because some of them, even if they seem like a little kid's story, like Al-Riyahu fi Saf or Wind in the Willows, that's a book which is, the level of Arabic in that is like my graduates would struggle with it. Like the graduates of the Arabic in 60 Steps program would struggle with it. Like, I don't know why they've decided to write that story in such sophisticated Arabic, but I was reading it because I was thinking of doing it on my channel. There may even be an Instagram post out there somewhere of me saying, look, I'm considering doing this book as the next walkthrough. But yeah, when I sat down with that book and started reading it, I thought maybe this would be good for graduates of the program or something, but it's not really suitable for the whole of YouTube. But yeah. Yusuf, al-bab kahir.
I'm going to the toilet.
No, stay here. Wait for daddy. Bab kahir. What else have we got? But which one do you dream in? So the conversation about learning, about thinking in languages and dreaming in languages is the same conversation to me. Like dreaming is really just thinking when you're asleep. Very vivid dreaming sometimes. I've been learning Fusha for a little while now. Any tips? Try to develop the 4 skills around whatever Fusha you're learning. Usually Fusha lends itself to learning to read only, but I think because languages are so entangled, like it will really benefit you to practice, reading, writing, speaking and listening for whatever you're learning. Ben Iqra has come to join us. Wa alaikum assalam, my brother Ben, may Allah bless you. Please go and check out Ben's channel. I love that brother, for the sake of Allah. He's given me loads of really good advice on my channel, and he's actually an incredible host as well. I've done a number of interviews in my time, like with the Sam of Somalia channel and stuff like this, and you know, and I don't think I've ever really been interviewed by a host quite as good and who quite put me at ease the same way that Ben did. So I highly recommend watching the episodes of the Rerouted podcast as well that he hosted, because he's brilliant what he does, mashallah. May Allah bless him. Yeah. What else have we got? What are your tips for learning vocabulary? Okay, I can talk about that. Okay, so let's see. Let's start with the learning vocabulary. So I recommend learning vocabulary in kind of the opposite way to how dictionaries produce it for you. So I recommend learning vocabulary on a topic by topic basis, and learning like a vocab list of like 20 words that you can imagine them all fitting in one conversation, and then trying to have that conversation or try to read that article or try to write that commentary of an article or whatever. So learning vocabulary by topics I think makes tons of sense. Yeah. So that's what I'd say in terms of reading vocabulary. A book that's really cool for this is actually the Chambers Arabic Vocabulary book. It's a little book. I've done a review of it on this channel before. And it's only like £7 or something, but it gives you vocab lists that are topic by topic, and it gives you loads of them. So, yeah, so I think that's really cool. Yeah, what else? Do reading short stories in translation, is it good for elementary level? Yeah. Yeah. Translating alone is a really specific language skill, actually. Like most students don't really need to be competent translators necessarily. You know, but sitting with books and interacting with them and thinking about the ideas that are coming in Arabic and being in the practice of practicing them in Arabic. And Yusuf, Moscow.
I'm thinking. Never really hungry.
Okay.
Can I go to the toilet?
Yusuf, no, we just went. Yusuf, sit down. I won't be too long, inshallah. What else have we got?
Then I can go by myself.
How do you understand context from ready-made vocabulary lists? Well, the context is kind of what illustrates the vocab list. The context is what brings it to life, really. So you make your own context for it. Like in the context of like learning a list of 20 words, right? Let's just say, for example, right, you would produce your own context for it. You try to make, you know, 6, 7, 8 sentences using all of them, and then practice them and think about what responses would be. And then, like, if it's something, let's say, like the topic is politics, right, or animals, right? Watch something as well of that topic, right? So you're reinforcing it from what native Arabic speakers would produce themselves. Yeah, so you're practicing producing it and writing and saying it and how it would interact with what native speakers would say. Like all of this is stuff that obviously, like, this is all under the assumption that you're manufacturing your own immersion. If you live in the Arab world, there's kind of another level of illustrating that and giving your own context to it. So you can actually, like, if for example you're learning the names of different types of fish, for example, right? Like you could go to an aquarium in an Arabic speaking country, or you can go to the fish market or whatever. I know loads of names for fish and stuff. Are you fully British or have any Muslim Arab roots? Fully British. Mum's English, dad's English. Their parents were all English. On my dad's side, my great-grandmother was Irish and my great-grandfather was from Edinburgh, but that's all English, like English. Yeah. How to find a balance between memorizing the Quran and learning Arabic. Nice. Yeah, that's quite an individual thing, really. That's something that most people who are trying to seek knowledge, they need to balance it. You know, obviously we know that the Quran is the ultimate authority in the religion, and we know that it's the book of Allah, right? And the speech of Allah it's not even part of creation, right? Like it's something of its own rank. And to sacrifice time learning the Quran for time learning hadith or time learning the Arabic language or whatever, that seems like a difficult compromise to come to, but student knowledge needs to. Like even students in Islamic universities, they have their lessons for hadith, they have their lessons for aqidah, they have their lessons for Quran and stuff. So it's however you balance that. I know that they are you know, they're all linked. as well. You know, like you're still revising your Arabic when you're doing your Quran, and when you're doing Arabic, you'll realize things that you discovered from the Quran and stuff like that. And yeah, so that's quite an individual question. I know I haven't really answered the question, but it's individual really. Like what I like to do is I like to tie my memory of the Quran in either when I'm driving, right? Because I'm not really active. I can't really do back and forth language learning. So I like to tie my Quran in with when I'm driving, and I like to tie it in with the Salah times. So when after Fajr, do 15 or 20 minutes, whatever, of Quran. And like for me, like I've memorized an amount of the Quran now that I really need to do it really regular. Like, you know, subhanallah. Yeah, like I was, you know, alhamdulillah, I have about 15 juz now, and I haven't really, it's taken me a long time to move on from that at all, you know, because I feel like I'm revising so often, you know, it's, you know, when you get to, I mean, to be honest, for me, when I got to like 9 or 10 juz, I really needed to make it a lifestyle of just revising bits of the Quran really regularly. 10 minutes here on the tube, 20 minutes of the surah in the car. If I'm waiting for my wife somewhere, 10 minutes of memory of this surah. Like it needs to become a lifestyle. Though the memory of the Quran does, especially. But yeah, anyway, I'm kind of talking around it. And what was the next question? You said you know Palestinian Arabic. What would you say is the main difference between official Arabic or standard Arabic and Palestinian? So Ammiya generally has its own grammar. Like, there's lots of things that they do. I mean, a big pronunciation one, like a hallmark of Palestinian and Shami dialects generally, is they turn sounds onto the end into a kasra. And they also put kasras at the beginning of words. So, like the name Muhammad, I had lots of friends called Muhammad at my university in Nablus. And we don't call them Muhammad, we say Muhammad. We put like an at the beginning of names and all kinds of stuff like that. And rather than saying an on the end with the ta madbuta, you put an Falastiniye. They don't say Falastiniya, they say Falastiniye. Like the Palestinian dialect just really likes the kasra in its pronunciation. I'd say that's a big difference. And then making verbs negative with a sheen on the end. I don't smoke. I remember hearing people say that outside the masjid and whatever verb sh on the end to make it negative. Ma indish, I don't have, even though that's not a verb, saying ma indish, I don't have something, or using ma and a sh on the end to make something negative. That's not something that we see in Fusha. So that's just an example. Where are we? Nice, mashallah. So you're a revert. نعم أنا مسلم جديد ولله الحمد. ليس جديدا أسلمت منذ ممكن 10 سنوات. But yeah, maybe I embraced Islam like 10 years ago. So not really a Muslim jadid, but أسلمت. But I became a Muslim. I really have difficulties learning vocabulary. I started with قصص النبيين, but as I didn't use them every day, I forgot them. What are your tips, please? So the thing about languages generally is we don't really learn them, we become used to them. And if you are no longer used to them, then we won't remember them. You know, like I have this conversation with lots of my students about learning to speak Arabic, actually developing their speaking. And my advice to them isn't like do this speaking program, it's think about how does speaking Arabic factor into your lifestyle. Like how we are like, you know, it's very unlikely that you're going to be able to be a proud, fluent speaker of the Arabic language if you don't speak to Arabs multiple times a week. Like, so you need to think about how that incorporates into your lifestyle. And it's the same with actually using this vocabulary and stuff as well. Like, how does the reading of those texts factor into your lifestyle? Because, as I say, languages, if we don't use them, then we lose them. They're more something we become and are used to rather than something that we learn. So, yeah. Yusuf. Yusuf, stop it, young man.
Can I go to the toilet?
Yusuf, may Allah protect you, Yusuf.
I'm gonna go to the toilet.
Yusuf, we just went before we started. Okay, Yusuf, let me stay on here for 10 minutes, inshallah, and I'll finish off this live stream and then I'll take you.
Okay.
But sit down, please. Maybe eat your banana. Or do some of your reading for me, please.
Okay, I'll eat some banana orange.
Good, well, do you want me to open it?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna wash it.
Alright. Yusuf, Kali.
Come in.
Oh. Okay, for Yusuf. Yusuf, go and eat. Okay, what else have we got?
I'm just staring at you.
Okay, where are we? Okay, so I've got some basic Nahaw and Sarf. Would you say your course is for those who would be just above average, perhaps slightly below intermediate? The program's for complete beginners. Complete beginners who don't know Alif, Ba, Ta can join the program. They need to do the Arabic script bundle first. Like, there's a whole kind of bundle of resources on the Arabic script that students should go through before the program, because you do need to know the Arabic script. But even for complete beginners who don't have any Nahaw and Sarf, but if you are a person who has some Nahaw and Sarf, it will help you a lot. On the program, we don't, like, you got to remember, like, I learnt the Arabic language in a Western tradition, right? And these terms like Nahaw, Sarf, and Balagha, they're like very kind of classical Arabic terms, and they're really for teaching Arabic to Arabs, right? Like, you know, those terms are for Arabs themselves who are already speakers of the Arabic language to be more precise in their understanding of scripture. So, like, the way I learn Arabic doesn't really focus on Nahaw, Sarf, and Balagha as sciences, and we only make reference to them in passing a few times in the whole program. But by having knowledge of some of that stuff, of actually how words are shaped, obviously Sarf, and some understanding case endings and sentence structure and stuff with your Nahaw, it would serve you very well. But it seems like you'd be well placed for the program. If you wanted like more specific advice on that, send me an email or something, inshallah. But just from what you said, if that's a fair reflection of your level, I would say the program would be a really good fit for you. Where are we? How long does it take to become fluent? I mean, I suppose it depends how you define fluent and what resources you have available, right? Like in the past, I've talked about this kind of quadrant that I kind of devised, where if you imagine like like an intersection like this, okay, and you need to rank yourself out of 10 for 4 different things, right? One of them is a length of time, right? So length of time. Do you want to learn Arabic in a month, in a year, in 10 years, or spend the rest of your life learning it, okay? Length of time. The next one is how hard you're going to work, as in vertically, how many hours a day will you spend, right? And then another one is what resources do you have available, okay? Do you have, like are you willing to pay a teacher? Like, are you willing to buy courses? Are you willing to go to the Arab world? Are you willing to invest money? I mean, it's really about resources, right? Because some people don't need to spend any money and they have lots of resources. Or some people are prepared to travel very far but not spend money, right? So it's more about what resources you have available. And then the last one is about whether you're a gifted linguist or not. So if you rank yourself out of 10, what I say is that if altogether the total is less than 30, it's very subjective because you're ranking yourself, but just as a vague idea of calculating whether your plan for learning language is realistic or not, if it's under 30, it might take you 150 years to learn Arabic, or it might take you 200 years to learn Arabic. But because people don't live that long, it doesn't look like a successful journey. So let's say, for example, with me, when I started learning Arabic, what was my situation? Well, am I a gifted linguist? Not really. I'd rank myself quite low, like 5, like very average. Okay, like I didn't do well in languages at school and stuff, and I'm not like a gifted linguist, right? So I need to make up for that with investing in resources. Like, my degree cost me tens of thousands of pounds, right? Like I'd be like 10 out of 10 on resources I'm willing to purchase and make available to myself. In terms of hard work, how many hours am I willing to put in a day? Like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, right? And then in terms of like length of time, I'm willing to spend the rest of my life learning Arabic. So I'm like 10 out of 10 for that as well. So altogether, it adds up to what, like 33 or 34. So that is the model of a successful journey of learning the Arabic language, right? So like, you can be really bad at any of those 4 things. You can say, look, I'm not going to invest a penny in learning Arabic. I'm not going to go anywhere, but you need to be a very gifted linguist. You need to work a lot of hours a day, and you need to be willing to learn Arabic for a long time, right? Like, you need to make up for it with those other 4 qualities. So that's kind of like a little quadrant that I sort of devised for mastery of the Arabic language, and to kind of give students a vague idea of whether their idea and their plan for learning Arabic is realistic and looks like a successful journey. So that's kind of my answer, I suppose. How long does it take generally to become fluent? It depends on those 4 things, right? It depends on how hard you're going to work, how long you're willing to spend, how many resources you have available to you, and how much of a gifted linguist you are. But sorry, I think I've answered the question generally. You specifically asked me I mean, I kind of came into a stage that I would consider fluency at like the end of my year abroad, I'd say. So like 3 years full time learning Arabic, I'd say. But people can do it quicker. You know, as I say, I'm not a especially gifted linguist, so people who are or already have Arabic can do much better than that. Please suggest some important books. I mean, I suppose it depends what your goals are, but in terms of like accessibility, in terms of the books that kind of I've taught on my YouTube channel and through my course and everything, like I'd put like Layla wa Dhi'b, the one that we're doing on this channel now, that as like a very accessible level, maybe slightly above that or similar Qasas al-Nabiyyin, but even within Qasas al-Nabiyyin, that book, story of Ibrahim, very simple. Nearer to the end, story of Yusuf alayhi salam, story of like whatever prophet, Hud and Saleh, some of those further to the back, it's yeah, like the prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. Yes, some of those stories are a little bit harder, but Yusuf, maybe we should prepare a lesson sometime, and you can teach on the YouTube channel something from the story of Yusuf alayhi salam.
Okay.
You could teach something, not right now. We'll plan a lesson together, inshallah. And you can teach everybody if you want to. You can see your hand there, can't you? All right. Let's see what else we got. Yes, that's what. So I'd say Qasas al-Nabiyyin, and then into like Alauddin, and then into whatever else. Like you don't really get like a lot of the time people want to kind of get into fiqh books. But there aren't like basic fiqh books. Like fiqh by definition is more advanced because it has like mustalahat terminology and stuff which is very specific. Like there's terms. Like I was doing a fiqh, like I was watching a fiqh video recently, a fiqh lesson, and the teacher used the term hadith, right? It's in a conversation about tahara, about like removing impurities, right? The term hadith, unless you knew it as a fiqh term, you wouldn't guess that that's what hadith is, right? Like, fiqh really needs to be kind of studied in and of itself. You don't sort of learn Arabic and then understand all of fiqh. And it's kind of the same with the Quran in many ways. Like, you don't learn Arabic and then you understand the whole Quran. Like, you understand Arabic and you can access the Quran, right? But it doesn't mean you're going to have full understanding of the Quran just because you know Arabic. Yeah. Yusuf, somebody said, hey Yusuf. Don't come in, but you can speak back to them.
Hello.
You can use this microphone. You can say Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. My name's Yusuf.
Yeah, good boy. Okay, yeah, Yusuf, one day we can do an interview or something because we've got 2 microphones. So that can be your one and one of our future conversations, inshallah. Yusuf, no. We're not going to have you talking over us right now, Yusuf. You be patient, please. And yeah, Yusuf is being very patient, mashallah. I brought him into the office today, and and he is being very patient, mashallah. I was planning on getting him some food, and I was very optimistic that he would do some phonics all by himself, but that was very optimistic of me. Okay, what else have we got? Let's have a look. I have a quick question, please. Yes, go ahead, Jalal, go ahead, please. Still got another few minutes. Because I've got my son with me today, we'll maybe shorten the live Q&A today, but yeah. And then also, there's 13 of you here. If any of you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, inshallah. I really want to reach 20,000 subscribers this month. That's like, that'd be a massive milestone for me on this channel. So we're really close. We're 200 and something away now. So we're very close. So, and also like this video as well. There's 14 of you here, but only 9 likes. So if any of you guys haven't liked the video yet, please do that for me. It's a big help. Thank you, Shahid. But yeah, I'm on daddy duty right now, and having to manage Yusuf. He's a big boy now, though.
I'm 6.
He's 6 years old, mashallah.
I'm 6 for the fix.
Yeah. When I read a book, I write like a word I don't know, but how should I find the normal verb? I'm not sure I know what you mean. Oh, do you mean by normal, like the root, base form of the verb? Is that what you mean, firstly? He did not say that, Jalal, he didn't say that. He said he's 6, okay? Yeah, because he is of the age 6. Yes, so how do you find the root? So the way that you know that is by knowing your sarf and knowing kind of your verb forms, right? So some things to remove from verbs to get the root letters. If there's an ista at the beginning, remove that. If it begins with in at the beginning, remove that. If it begins with an alif and then the second letter is a ta, remove both of those. Those are just little advices that I would say. I mean, if there's a ya or a ta at the beginning, then remove those because they're common present tense, parts of the verb form rather than the verb root. Is Arabic the language spoken in Jannah? So I know that there's a hadith which refers to it, but I believe that hadith is da'if. Is da'if anyway. So I'm not sure if we take it to believe that for that, but so Allahu a'lam. Allah knows best about that. I don't know.
How does this work? How does this work?
There's a button on the side, isn't there, that you need to lift to lift it up or down.
Yeah, it's so cool. Daddy. Hello, how are you today?
I'm doing العربية بين يديك. ما رأيك? My opinion is carry on. I don't have any concerns with هذا البرنامج. Yusuf, you okay?
Yeah.
So carry on. Really, I don't. I know lots of people who have done العربية بين يديك, and they're excellent users of the Arabic language as well as the Medina books. We cannot deny the efficiency, and we just can't. We can't deny the efficiency and the workings of them, because we have many graduates that are successful from them. So, if you like those books, then استمر, then continue. Have you got an injury?
Yeah.
Subhanallah, Yusuf. You've got a big injury. Where did you cut it?
There.
Alright guys, I might need to dip because my son's cut his foot open on Yusuf, what is it? It's like, the flaps where we've got the plug sockets underneath. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. You're a brave boy, mashallah.
Is there anything I can put on it?
Yeah, we'll get a tissue.
Can I just go to the...
We'll go toilet now, inshallah. Okay. Alright, everybody. Any other questions about the Arabic in 60 Steps program or otherwise, you can just put them underneath this video or email me, sam@arabic-in60steps.com. Have an amazing rest of your day, everybody. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.